I just operated the radio desk for the first time. I turned my headphones up on this fancy iPad over here, and I looked down and I was like, oh, that looks like the button. And then I pushed it up and you were louder in my ears. And I'm like, radio jock.
Turns the volume up. Thinks he's a radio jock.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough from you. It's going down.
Welcome to Not So PG. I'm Brooke Blurton. My pronouns are she and her.
I'm Matty Mills. My pronouns are he and him.
Right at the top of this episode, we'd like to acknowledge the custodians of the land on which we record this podcast on.
For me, that's the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation.
And for me, that's the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation here in Naarm. All right, Maddie, let's get into it. How was your week?
My week was a whirlwind. Like, I feel like it went so quick. I felt like I was in here not too long ago with you. Like, what happened to this week? It went so fast.
It did go bloody quickly. We've got our lovely producer back, Elise.
Yes, Elise is back with us.
Hello.
After 3.5 weeks overseas. How great.
Did you have lots of sex?
Obviously. Except for the last
week.
week where I was with my in-laws and there was like less.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
There was none because we shared a wall and, you know.
Yeah.
Although one of them has hearing aids, so if you took them out, he probably couldn't hear. But
I'm the person who likes to risk it. Like, for instance, when Brooke came and stayed, I would be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's risk it.
Actually, can we talk about this? Because talking about thin walls, you know, I live with two housemates, all girls, and my room, and you've been in my room, Maddie, has this, the house has been like really beautifully designed. Mm. But there's this one part of the house, which is my fucking room, that it's open to the hallway. So like upstairs, but it has like this drop where it's like this tower, like this Rapunzel tower where you can see down straight to the front door and hallway. Mm. So I have not been able to like have sex without the thought of, fuck, am I being too loud?
Yeah.
Or can my housemates hear me? Because Hannah is literally underneath me. And talking about thin walls, like I once heard one of my other housemates who used to live with me having sex, and it felt like I was literally in it, and it was like a 3D sound system, like I was in the room.
Oh my God.
And it was obvious, it was two girls, like, so I was I was kind of in it so much that I was like, oh yeah, that's my housemate. That's the whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I can tell what's going on here.
Oh,
to the point
gosh.
where I was like, I felt like I was lying right next to them.
Wow.
So I am so conscious of like getting, you know, hearing now. I'm like quietening myself thinking, well, I don't want my other housemate, Hannah, who's literally right underneath me, hear me have sex.
What if you have
Not that I'm super loud.
Well,
Anyways.
what if you have a DIY, like, fill the hole up? That's not a sexual innuendo either.
What?
Like, what I mean by that is, you know, the hole, you know, the hole in your room where it like obviously is like for you to peek out to see who's knocking or whatever.
Yeah.
Or whoever's downstairs. Could you actually like fill it?
No, I feel like it'd just be too much of a, like I would get a handy man or
A handy
woman.
I'd get it. This is gone dirty real quick.
Many innuendos. No, like, also actually just like on that, I saw a handy woman just recently like downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing better than like a hot tradie, but when it's a hot tradie woman.
Well, you put handy and tradie in the same sentence, and there's a car park that my partner drove past one day, and there was this tradie getting a violent hand job, like violent, like it was like this. It was like, by some other guy in a car park. And whenever we drive past this car park, I always like look to Paulie, and I'm like, yeah.
This has been too wild. We've had too much of a wild weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Wild. I saw that you, Brooke, you were like getting into your landscaping vibes. You're like getting real into your horticulture. Is that horticulture? Yeah.
Yeah. I had a really bloody wholesome weekend. I had the most wholesome weekend you could ever have. This is my first weekend I've had probably off. Couldn't even tell you the last weekend I've had off.
Yeah.
Like, not without anything to do or working, and I literally planned nothing.
Oh, good on you.
Plus, I was so sick of my like socials at the moment. Like, I feel like I'm just like pumping out sponsored stuff and like my book and everything like that. And so I was like, I just don't want to even think about it, and I want to do wholesome shit. I want to post how my weekend went, like, and not have to think about work. And I had like, when everything just aligns and you're like, oh, this is what I was meant to do. I'm like, the closing of a chapter of that's part of the tour. Now moving on I'm going home soon, so I'm fucking so excited
How
to
good.
go home.
How exciting.
So exciting. But I had a beautiful baby shower, and then afterwards I went to Passenger.
Oh, yeah.
And I've listened to Passenger my whole life. Like,
what's their big song?
Let Her Go. It was like 10 years ago.
When I Let Her Go, yes.
Like, it was like a hit, and he's done some other music.
Mm-hmm.
But how fucking funny. The first thing I say to him, because we get invited backstage because my friend Jared is his photographer.
Oh, wow.
We get invited backstage to have like drinks in this like little room with him. The first thing I say to him is, what size are your shoes? What shoe size are you?
Oh, my gosh.
And he was like, he looks at his feet and then looks at me and he's like, oh, well, that's kind of like an unusual question to ask someone.
Especially at his concert, backstage at his concert. Like,
And I was like, my one chance to ask Passenger any question I possibly can. Like, I don't know. His
like what was the
song
inspiration behind the song?
Yeah.
But nah, how big your feet?
And so we had like such a good banter behind it. He even asked how my book is going. Like, he knew about the book, which was so amazing.
That's lovely. So is he Aussie?
No, he's British.
British, okay.
But we won't hold it against him.
No.
He's got a beautiful, rugged lumberjack feeling to him. Like, he's got that real wholesome vibes. He's really, like, conversational, so sweet. At some point, I kind of think that we were flirting, but he's got a girlfriend.
Oh, okay. Yep. Well, I mean,
I won't ruin his life.
I mean, did he tell you the size of his feet?
He did end up telling me the size of his feet, and I, he did say he's got a flat foot, and I said, oh, me too. So we bonded over having flat feet.
Wow. Oh, my God, that conversation must have been riveting.
I know, right? Wild weekend. wild weekend. Then last night, I had a wholesome as shit dinner with my neighbours and close friends where we just like had a little barbecue and we played games.
Oh, like
and
board games?
All night. Just like a charades kind of game.
Oh, actually, yes.
Yeah.
Charades, yes. I'm the worst at charades, by the way. Oh.
Yes, he is. For an actor, Matty is...
Yeah, I am
worst.
Bad at charades. Like, it's not my thing.
It's like you just can't talk. Like, you just can't
I know. I need to just shut the fuck up.
Anyways, how was your weekend? What did you get up to? You've been busy.
I mean, it was pretty fun. I was supposed to go for a hike on Sunday, so that was like going to be my wholesome day. But oh God, I broke the.
What the fuck are you doing?
Sorry, the chair moved. So I was going to go for a hike on Sunday, but then I couldn't because I actually hurt my calf muscle. So I've been training really hard this week, and I've been doing a lot of boxing and blah, blah, blah. And then my calf muscle was pretty sore, so I was just like, oh, I'm not going to do that. But I went to a lovely...
Are you prepping for hot girl summer? Is this what's happening?
Yes, I feel like I just need a good routine. I feel like my life, like with my fitness, my life is so like sporadic and spontaneous and gig here, job here, do this, do that like what I'm craving is a routine and structure, and I feel like I just have to hone in on it. Like it's one of those things where it's like when I am in a good routine and structure, I feel like I can move forward and I can be really sort of productive. So I'm basically just trying to get to the gym every night, do a class every night, wake up, do Pilates twice a week, and then every other day do something like walk, try and get 10,000 steps or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But my Saturday night was fun. I went to a party with Narelda. So some Channel 10 friends and a producer friend of mine called Sophia, and their house, oh my life, it's a 4-story home.
Jesus Christ.
In Newtown.
Jesus Christ.
It is the most beautiful house I've been to in a while. It was like you walk in and it's like I was walking through all this beautiful foliage and these like beautiful pot plants out the front, and then you get in, they have an indoor pool, an outdoor spa. Oh, it was like 4 levels. Like it was beautiful.
Do?
So Sophia is the head producer for Bunya, which is like a really big production company that's won all the ACTRA awards for Mystery Road and stuff. And her partner Kylie is the head of the BBC, but here in Sydney. Yeah, so like they're big wig power couple lesbian that like threw this Greek summer party, and it was so much fun.
Are they looking for a third person?
Well, I told them that that I would like to be adopted. I was like, just adopt
either adopted or included in the threesome.
Yeah,
I'm like that kind of gives me like sugar mummy vibes.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. I have to introduce you to them when you
Don't
come.
tell them I said that though.
Yeah.
Something that I saw on Reddit. I'm going to read this thread and I feel like I want to know your perspective.
Okay.
So it's sex turn-ons and offs, and I'll read it. My boyfriend 23 hates when I, 24, female, giggle outside of sex. I know for sure this is because when we have sex, I moan and giggle in between. But the thing is, I always giggle instead of laughing, but he doesn't know that because we just recently met for the first time after doing a long-distance relationship. And he hates to hear my giggles on the funny videos I send him. He would ask me to take down my IG stories when I was giggling, or even in public he would ask, "Why are you making that noise?" I tried communicating with him many times, but he's so stubborn that I told him, fine, I'm never sending him videos in general anymore. This is annoying. I can't change the way I laugh. It's like he's constantly sexualizing me when he makes an issue about my giggles. Who confuses giggles with moaning? Help.
Oh my gosh, I want to hear her giggle. Giggle for me, baby.
So they were friends for 2 years and FaceTime a lot, then became exclusive for 9 more months before we met for the first time. So,
okay.
Okay. I was talking to a friend on the way to the baby shower this weekend about how humour is so sexy for me. Like, I love someone when someone can make me laugh, and when I'm laughing, like, I don't know, it's just, it turns me on that the conversation is fun and bubbly and we're making, it's taking the piss. How would I feel if I'm like literally having sex with someone and then just start laughing out of context or like, out of the blue? I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what to...
She just starts laughing. Have you ever laughed during sex?
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But it's been like if it's clunky and clumsy and you're just like, both of you just like, fuck, okay, this is hilarious. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what this girl's giggle sounds like, so I want to hear it. Like, if it's fucking annoying, like if it's like, if she's giggling up a storm and it's like, giggling up a storm, that's a good line. If she's like giggling and her giggle is like annoying, I could understand why he's like, oh. But also, like, she's laughing, she's having a good time. Like, allow the girl to feel happy.
I feel like, but not to take it to age or anything, but like 23 and 24, I remember, this was only like a couple of years for me. I feel like that is the stage when you're like doing a lot of exploration with someone sexually. Like, I feel like that's when you're kind of coming into yourself and you're kind of like, okay, I like this and I like that, or, you know, I don't like that. And you kind of, I feel like you have to get this all out of your system. So I think it's totally normal. I think for me, it's probably not a huge turn on. Humor is a huge turn on in like if I find someone sexy, if they can make me laugh. But during sex, like if someone's just like hysterically laughing at something, if you're not like tickling them, or like it's just like, you know, you haven't fucking elbowed one another in the head or something, you know what I mean? Like accidentally, because I think that's fucking hilarious when it's like that clunky and you're like, oh shit. So it's not like a huge turn on or off for me, but it's kind of like borderline. But I want to know like what are some other turn on offs for you?
Well, look, I'm a ticklish person, so if I was being tickled, that's like massive turn off. Like, I'm the type of person that will swing hands if someone tickles me. Like, if someone tickles me, my first reaction is to punch them in the face. And like, and even Paulie knows it. Like, I'll be laying on the lounge and my leg will be like over the end of the lounge, and he'll walk past and I just see his fingers like drop to the side and like go to tickle my feet. I'm like, nah, get the fuck out. Like, I'll do the Kathy Freeman. I'll be running away real quick.
I mean, I am probably the same. Like, I actually hate being tickled. I find it really uncomfortable. So I'm like, nah, turn off. Mm-hmm. Okay, baby talk.
What you mean? You talking to me?
Maddie, do you want to come to bed with me?
I can't. No. Look, I tried to do this once. I tried to like, as in like a joke, because I saw it online.
Ew!
And I was like, and I literally I got home and I put my bag down. I was like, hey, baby, what are you doing? Are you okay? Why are you on the lounge? And like, I was like, and he's just like looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why are you doing this? Like, it wasn't funny. It wasn't a turn on. It wouldn't be a turn on for me either. But like, yeah, I think I've never been the person to naturally do baby talk. Have you?
Oh, I kind of got outed on The Bachelorette once. It was hilarious. Like when Abby and Amy were on the last dates with David.
Yeah.
We were like being really cute. So David and I like nestled into one another and I was like, oh, baby. And then I was like, I swore that I would never, ever do it again. I actually hate baby talk. I think it's so repulsive. It's a massive turn off for me. Like if someone does it to me, or I find myself even just like slightly even changing my voice to like, I just can't. It gives me the biggest ick. My friends, like my good friend Courtney was doing it to another good friend of mine, and it's a bit of a joke between them, and I was like, stop it right now.
Oh my God.
Biggest ick. I can't stand it. I'm like, it grosses me out. I just can't. I'm like, grow up.
I feel
grow
like
up.
I 100%. I'm on that wavelength too. It's like it's supposed to be cute, but it doesn't come across as cute. It comes across as like, I don't know, like you've lost a couple of brain cells. Something happened.
Back in time.
Something happened.
Maybe you haven't gained them. I don't know. I find also over communicating in the bedroom is really icky for me.
Oh,
like when it's
do you
to
like
the point. I 100% love consent, and consent is so important. Like, can I do this to you? Can I touch you here? Mm-hmm. That is important.
Yeah.
But over communicating where it's to the point where I'm fucking educating you and being like, you need to do this, and then we're having a full conversation literally while my fingers are inside you or whatever. Like, it's just a bit fucked up.
Yes.
Your face.
Well, it just took me back to a moment, and the moment is that when I was doing the play at Sydney Theatre Company, we had an intimacy coach, and even though there weren't many intimate moments, you were touching people in certain positions, and so I think it's good standard practice these days so that people aren't like doing anything they shouldn't. But like at one point, like when we were first told about it and first like were learning about intimacy coaching, it felt like every time I touched someone, even in like a endearing way where I was like on their shoulder, I had to be like, hey, can I touch your shoulder before I touch them? And so it was like so uncomfortable at one point where it's like you're in a play, you're scuffling, like there's a fight scene, there's a this, there's that, and like in the rehearsals, it was like, do you mind if I put my hand on your back at this point? And like it was like, you know,
okay, yeah, that's really sweet.
That's sweet,
that's
but
work. Like that's work.
Yeah.
Work.
It's sweet, but
this is not like in the bedroom with your partner, like having sex, being like,
yeah. What do you think about someone who says, "Do you like it?"
Do you like it?
You know, and it's like, do you like that?
Oh no, yuck.
No,
vibes, not vibes.
Yeah, it's like you will know if I like it or not.
Do you like it? Do you like it?
Yeah. Do you want it? No.
No. I'm gross. I am.
Are you? Can I ask a question? Do you prefer a vocal person in the room? Does that help is that a turn on for you if they're like a loud moaner or you know, someone who's like expressive with their voice?
No.
Oh, interesting.
Nah, I think for me, it's building sexual tension first, and then it's like no words.
Silent.
Well, not silence, but like
silent disco vibes.
Put the headphones in. No. I like...
You're like, what channel are you on? Blue.
Stop. Oh, shit.
No, I get it. Like, so is it just breathing that you... Like, is it just the sound of the breath?
Like you could... I'm like obviously a huge energy feeler. So when the like sexual tension is there...
It's there.
And you don't even really need to even... hear each other. Like, yeah, moaning is great, but it doesn't like do anything for me. Like, I feel like the breath of someone and like knowing that they're having a great time and like I'm contributing to that and equally like the same, it's being reciprocated. I think that's just like fucking so hot.
All right.
So yes, that's our turn-ons and offs.
What about
switching off?
What about role playing? Have you ever done role playing, and do you find it an attractive thing to bring to the floor? What? We just laughed the exact same. We just went.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
Everyone has kinks, and I would never ever discriminate against anyone's kinks, and I think everyone has them. Like, you know. At some point, like I will never out my kinks on here, but it's just, you know, keep that to myself.
Yeah.
But I feel like role play for me is situational and it can be like fun, and that's a part of like building sexual tension, and then you know, and so for me, I've never been one to like particularly enjoy it and like do it actively,
and
but
seriously,
sometimes like, and yeah, you know, like really go.
I don't know how people do that. Like, how do people come into the bedroom with a character and like full on commit to the role without laughing? I'd be giggling. I'd be like, stop it.
Stop it.
Keep going.
I would be the same, and I feel like it's just so interesting. Everyone's so varied in what the character they want their partner to be or whatever. Like, it's so different.
And then does that like bring on insecurities that like me and myself are not enough? I have to be lumberjack Willie.
Lumberjack.
That's a good one.
That was good. You're hilarious. But you know what? I think I haven't really explored that. I think I'm gonna explore that.
Oh,
so let's
role play.
Yeah, let's like I'll figure out like
write a character description and get a backstory.
I'll do an application process so people can apply for that role. Auditions at Brooke Blurton's house. They're coming in. Oh shit!
Oh,
hilarious.
that's bloody funny. As queer people, we're probably more open to trying different things. And so, like, has there been a situation where maybe you've gotten with, like, a hetero man and he's been less open to trying things that maybe you would if you were with a bi man or a lesbian woman?
I mean, everyone's experience is so varied. And, I've been in relationship back to back in some way. Like, I've sort of gone from relationship to relationship. So, and for, extended period of time as well. So then in that relationship, I've been able to explore a lot of things. And I feel like very confident in my own ability to have sex and to make someone feel good and to explore. And, even if they if they lack that experience, I kind of want someone to sort of meet me in the middle. Like, and I have had experiences where someone hasn't had the most experience, like, hasn't had that experience, or like sort of lacks that experience. And that's okay. Like, that's totally normal. And it's about communication and it's about consent and it's about, making that person feel comfortable in their own ability, even if they're not quite there. And like, I feel like it takes me sort of back to when I was younger and I was really fumbly and I was really nervous and I lacked that sort of experience. And so it's kind of endearing in some way because then I'm like, oh, I feel really empowered. I mean, it is a bit of a turn off at some points when someone isn't meeting you in the middle. Like, I feel a lot of pressure for guys because I don't think a lot of guys, especially like, I don't feel sorry for hetero straight men, but I feel that if they lack that experience and they feel pressure of like performance, that's not really spoken about. And a lot of men have a lot of shame around that. And I feel like they should really talk about it. I know a good friend of mine doesn't feel like it is spoken about and it's an okay thing. And I feel like we should, men, who do feel shame about performance should actually talk about it and normalize it, like it's okay, or, it's a growing thing, it's an evolving thing, it's an experience thing. Like, you will get better, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And what do you think, like, in terms of like advice?
I don't know how. Yeah.
How do we share our wisdom and knowledge for maybe, younger people, queer people starting out on how to like figure out what they like and what they don't? It's all about exploration.
I feel like it comes with safe places and it comes with like communicating with, your person, your partner or whoever you're having sex with. It's consent is really important because you don't ever want, it has to be the safe place for you. And I feel like don't be afraid to just ask questions. And I know it might, at first it's going to probably be super clunky and it's not going to be like this. I feel like lovemaking for me is sometimes like a bit of a story and it doesn't always have to go like, like it doesn't have to be like porn because porn has taught us so many wrong things that it doesn't have to be like this performative thing. It can be clunky, it can be emotionally driven, it can be passionate, like love making, it can be all sorts of things and sex can be all sorts of things. So I don't know, I feel like kind of it's like a bit of a storyline and you kind of, I feel like foreplay is really important, but some people might not like foreplay. Like, people are so different. Yeah. But I feel like you have to feel very comfortable in the space first. Yeah. And that comes with communication and that comes with feeling confident and comfortable with that person as well. Like, I've probably just repeated myself 100 times. I'm sorry.
At least I'm not repeating it. At least I'm not saying what you're saying. So I want to talk about an incredible moment that happened this week on Australia's Got Talent. It's the new season, brand new judges, but there was a golden buzzer moment that was like went viral on the net, and that was Brianna. She sang Cyndi Lauper's True Colours in language. Did you see that?
I watched it.
You watched it live?
Well, no, I was watching it on TV because I was actually in transit. I was traveling. Wow. And I put it on in the hotel that I was staying at when I was sort of like, doing some work, chilling out, vibing. And I watched it and I was like in tears. Like I was actually, I cried because I have this thing with my adopted dad, Pete, that when we are together and we just want to spend time in company with one another, we watch Golden Buzzer moments.
Oh, wow.
And it makes us happy. It makes us cry. It's wholesome as shit. And I fucking love it every single time we do it.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
we watch... Yeah, and we just watch them over and over again. Like, could be the same ones, and it still makes us cry every single time.
Yeah.
And so watching this, I was like, kind of got a moment of like homesickness. I was like, I need to be home with my dad right now.
Yeah.
And watching her and how amazing she was, and seeing her and like representing culture, representing community, like that for me was like, we need to see more of this.
Yep.
And that made me so proud because she's only 16. She's a Wemba woman from Nam.
Yeah.
How amazing. Like her performance was just like, you watched it.
Yeah. And I love how, like, when she was talking, speaking, she was doing the interview before she actually performed, she said, you know, I find it really hard to express my emotions when I speak, but when I sing, it's very easy for me. And so she's like, this is the way I'm able to tell my story. And also just seeing, she looked frightened. She looked so nervous before she opened her mouth, and then she opened her mouth and this beautiful moment happened that like will be iconic. It sort of takes you back to those first days of those talent shows where you remember those incredible moments, and it reminded me of Mitch Tambo's performance on Australia's Got Talent when he got the gold buzzer. It was a moment that like changed his career forever, and he covered John Farnham's The Voice, and he sang that in lingo as well. So it's like there are these incredible opportunities for these young black fellas on these shows, but the flip side to that is that she got a lot of racist online trolling, and she commented on it. Actually, she said, thank you everyone for your support. It's been the most incredible moment in my life, and even though there has been racist comments, she said that it'll only push me to go harder. So I was like, she's flipping it on its head. She's being fueled by these nasty comments just to push harder and perfect her craft.
I've even had that experience when you put yourself out there and you're doing some really good work, and you're doing that representation, and you're doing it so proudly. You feel like your community loves, you want to do it for your community, and your community needs to see it. But again, it comes with it's fucking torment.
Yeah.
So this is what frustrates me, I guess, working in the industry a little bit, is that we, as First Nations people, when we do things and we're successful in something, or, we're awarded something, it comes with so much torment afterwards. Like, I feel like we don't just represent ourselves as people, we actually represent our communities.
Yeah.
And especially, us being part of the queer community as well, that comes with that, like, equally with homophobic shit as well.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because, like, people in the industry and media who are just themselves, who are white, Australian, Aussie, who are just themselves, don't cop as much shit for their little successes. Like, they just kind of like get a free ride. And it's so fucking frustrating when you're a First Nations person and you are trying to break down these walls and break that glass ceiling and break down these barriers, and you're continually just getting pushed down, oppressed, fucking, like, you get what I mean, because it's like you can't even wallow in your success or your achievements, because you just know what's going to come from it.
Yeah.
And
it's
it's
the
like
sacrifice of trying to succeed,
and
right?
So I personally don't even celebrate my wins sometimes because I know what's going to happen. And I know that, like, even on Instagram, when I do sponsored content, like, other people can do sponsored content and it's like put on this like pedestal and it's like so amazing. But when I do content, or when I do sponsored content, it's like, oh, she's a sellout to her community. She's fucking, it's like all these like little racist comments, all these little derogatory comments. It's like frustrating as shit.
Yeah.
Because then I see the exact same post on a normal, like a white Australian person, and they're not getting the same backlash or the same comments or the same
And
you know,
even
it's
if they
just
do get, even if they do get picked apart as a person in the public eye, and is a public figure, they're getting picked apart for maybe their actions, not for who they are and who they are at the core of themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like for First Nations people, I definitely feel like there's always a target on our back, and it comes with the obviously the historical context of this country and what people have learned and been brainwashed to believe. But to the flip side of this, there is so much happening in the First Nations space, and this week they announced the first and forever festival. Did you see that? It was a festival that Briggs, Bad Apples and Paul Kelly put together, and the whole lineup is First Nations, and it's at Hanging Rock in November, I think November 27th. And tickets went on sale this week. But the lineup is incredible, and just I'm working there that weekend, so I'm super excited. But I just was like, holy moly, we've come a long way.
And we have to just keep pursuing and keep going, and then and just like showing up every single time. And I'm excited for that. I feel like these are the things like we continue to do, and that's going to make the greatest, the better change.
Like, let me just list off some of these names that are going to this festival. Like, it is, like, the lineup is so incredible. Where is it? Here it is. So, Baker Boy, Budgerah, Jessica Malboy, King Stingray, Christine Anu, Dan Sultan, Ziggy Ramo, Barker. I'm like, come on. Like, do we not have the most talented mob? Like,
we absolutely do. If you don't know any of those names,
that's black excellence. Bam, bam, bam.
Okay, first not so PG moment is I was talking to a couple of friends about dancing, and one of my good friends is an amazing dancer, and I said to her I'd actually really love to learn how to dance. So she does like cultural dance, she does traditional dance, and like mostly traditional Aboriginal dance and expression, and just even like just dancing in general, so all the genres. And so I was like, okay, great. I said, yeah, I'm not really a good dancer. Like, I just feel like I'm so not coordinated. And she goes, what traumatized you so much that you don't think that you can dance, or you don't want to dance?
Feel like you want the list?
Yeah, literally. And so it took me back to this one traumatic time when I was about year 3 or year 4 or somewhere in between, and I had to do an assembly performance, and we were all trees. And so we were all trees.
You were tree number 3.
And I was standing there as a tree, and we're all getting chopped down. Like, the performance and the sequence was you get chopped down to the beat of the song. And I got stage fright. And as everyone's getting chopped down, I just stood there and froze. And in that moment, I was like petrified. Like, I remember being like so frozen and so scared that I was just standing there like this stiff tree, being like, what the shit? And I remember just like when the song ended, I was like, I'm never doing that again. I'm never performing again. I'm never dancing again. I'm never doing anything. And so like it's literally traumatized me to this day. And so I think that I'm like a really shit dancer, and I've been able to be on TV. Like, obviously I've had other moments of being completely and utterly stage fright, like having stage fright. And so, but dancing for me is just like so fucked. But it's the way that I said it in this moment. Like, they were just like, so pissing themselves. They were like, so you're just fucking scared because you were a tree and you didn't get chopped down.
I could see this story as like a symbol of resilience. Every other tree was chopped down and you're like, I'm standing tall, not moving. I am the strong, proud tree that I am. And then you're just standing there instead of being like frozen, shit yourself, scared tree. It's like, no, I'm a staunch tree. I'm a big gum tree. I ain't moving. But so mine would be that I went to the most bougie event on Thursday night, the Hermes event at Hordern Pavilion, and it was like next level bougie to the point where I was like questioning my reality, whether I was like in another reality. It was so odd. I walk in and it's like a maze. I felt like I was in another world. I was like, what is this privilege? But I literally walked in and it was just like a maze full of Hermes products, and every single person who had like been hired to work there was a gorgeous model, and like it was stunning. But I think I had a realization that I'm never going to be that rich. Like, for a Hermes bag, do you know how much they cost? A Birkin bag?
I have no idea.
50,000? That's like the minimum.
Are you serious?
$50,000.
That's like a whole person's salary. That's insane.
And like I'm like, wait, what? Like these bags cost like, and you can't even directly buy it even if you have 50,000. There is a step-by-step process till you have to purchase smaller items from the company before you can buy the big ticket items.
Holy shit.
It's like a whole process. I'm like, that is like some crazy shit. But the reason it's a not so PG moment is because like just being in that space, not that like I ever want to get to a level where I can afford to pay that money, because I think that's ridiculous, but just being in that space and being like, holy moly, like, gee, I've come a long way from, like being a little kid with nothing to like being in these spaces where there's just money, honey. Like
this 4-story
That was
house
not an accent, by the way. That was not an accent. That was just a sassy Aboriginal man.
My other not so PG moment is I'm on WikiFeet.
Oh my God, I'm on there. Are you talking about photos of your feet being like on the internet?
So this is an actual thing which my friends and I actually figured out recently, is that my feet photos are actually on WikiFeet, and my rating is, I think, like 5 very good. So it means that I have actually like relatively nice feet.
Oh my God. Well, my hoofs are on a feet side as well. I realised that this week. And they even tagged me. And I was like, okay. Oh my God. I'm looking at this now. Oh,
yes.
Oh my God, there's like photos of your feet everywhere. I'm on there with you. Oh my God, this is hilarious.
Oh my God. What's my rating? Tell me my rating.
Where do you rate? 5. Beautiful feet.
Beautiful feet.
Oh my God, it's got your shoe size, where you were born, your birth date. Oh my God, it says that you struggled with tinea for 3 years. No, I'm kidding.
Fuck you.
She's got a corn on her left pinky. No.
I've got bunions. That's definitely correct. And I've got flat feet.
She's got damper feet that look like a piece of bread.
Hey. No. Passenger also has flat feet, remember, guys.
Sis, they have photos of like... They've like got these from your internet? No, your internet? Your Instagram?
Yeah, They got them from my social media, from what I am realizing.
Oh my God, like... Oh, look at these ones. That's like a close-up of your toes. Oh my God, sis. I'll show you where I am. They tagged me this week. Okay, I'm not on WikiFeet, which is good news to me. No, if you're listening to this, don't put me on there. I'm telling you.
Guys, put him on WikiFeet.
This one's called...
It reminds me of what's that show where he's like fixing her antenna or something, and she's like, runs to the door, she's like, I got bunions, damn it.
Guys, this thing is called, I've been on here from the 1st of March, what year, I don't know, but this page is called McFeet Face Feety. McFeet Face Feety. Here. They've taken photos of my feet and tagged. They've even created a collage of my feet. How funny! Let's see what other celebrities I'm on there with. Oh, there's Ian Thorpe, Tommy from the Kerry and Tommy Show.
Oh God.
Wow! Like, look at all these people's feet. How interesting. Anyway, bless them. Bless their souls. I would sell them. If people want photos of my feet, just DM me. I'll get there'll be a lot of money, but I'll be happy to send some shots across of doing weird things with my feet. 100%, $1,000 minimum.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
Maddie is up to send feet photos.
Well, they're already out
money.
there, so I might as well be getting money for it. Give me.
I know. Every time I upload a photo and it's like close up of my feet, like if I get a pedicure or something and I post a photo of my feet, and my friends are like, "Why are you giving that away for free? You can charge."
That's crazy. That. Hey, people would pay money for feet photos. Like, what do they do with the photo?
Imagine if there was an OnlyFans for feet.
There would be 100%. 100%. 1,000%.
And I'm signing you up. What's your email address?
Oh, nah, not happening. Not on my feet, not today. No, but I will sell feet photos for millions of dollars. It's gone from 1,000 to 1 million.
Oh shit!
Anyway, that's it.
Well, anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of Not So PG, you crazy cats. If you loved it, you can find us on our socials, which is at It's Matty Mills or it's at Brooke.Blurton. And if you want to listen to our other podcasts, check out Nova Podcast Official. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Yes.